without like further ado, we have to talk about COVID. I mean, it just totally
obviously
fucked 2020 in the ass. Like it's just
in the what?
In the
All right, you guys want to start?
Stories they tell.
Jack.
Welcome back to another episode of the Second Wind Podcast. We are Dave, Eric, John, and the sexy director, Bobby Choy.
Wait, can we say our names?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck it. We are
Dave,
DC,
Bobby,
and Eric,
and John. And you said and two ands.
I didn't know how to emphasize the comma. How do I verbalize that?
Dan or Daniel is out today because he had to.
Are you talking about D's nuts?
Yeah, D's nuts. D's nuts is out today because he had to work on his fingers. But in his stead, we have Danny once again, who was here in the fourth episode.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
He answered the call. Replace the Danny for a Danny.
I know.
D2.
That's the only reason why I'm here, right? Can't
like the replacement of the replacement of the replacement.
He's Keanu Reeves? Is that what you saying?
Oh, is that that movie?
The description's already set. We got to look for another Danny to fill in.
We do. We're one Danny down.
We're doing just fine.
It is the last day of 2020. Let's last day of recording, right? So let's kind of review. Start with basketball and then kind of see where that takes us.
The year in review.
The year in review.
That's awesome.
Yeah, let's look back on 2020.
So talk about what I mean. Without like further ado, we have to talk about COVID. I mean, it just totally
obviously
fucked 2020 in the ass. Like it's just
in the what?
In the it just
we've I don't know. I feel like I've been pretty lucky just being here because it's been a lot tough. It's been very tough for people back home.
Yeah,
and I think been blessed to be over here. I mean, around the world, obviously, but just people back home are
struggling.
I mean, in LA, we had over 10. The average is like over 10,000 people infected a day. Like one in 64 people has COVID.
They said LA. I mean, California has over 2 million cases now.
I mean, I remember like when it started. People didn't think it would last this long. I mean, people really didn't even take it serious. And now it's really, after like say like 9/11 or like these big time events, you're like, oh, what could happen next that could affect the world? Like how 9/11 affected air travel and everything else that it affected. But now COVID's come around and it's changed so much.
Well, you look at COVID and some maybe unintended consequences has been social justice movement has been truly like, amplified. And does Donald Trump become president again? For a second term, if COVID never happens, right? Because we were at the lowest unemployment rate, we were at like record highs for our economy, right? It's just shifted, like the tectonic shift that COVID has brought upon, and then even the income polarization, right? Where the rich really got way richer during COVID, and the poor just got decimated, right? And right now, people are just waiting for this check to come in.
Forget about the middle class.
Yeah. Oh no, the polarization is just. It's bifurcating classes for sure.
Wow, such hard words.
And I'd like to thank my word of the day,
Webster or
dictionary.com.
Urbandictionary.com.
Dirty Sanchez of the day.
No, it's been a crazy year, man. I mean, just everything that's happened, and I mean, I'm definitely like fortunate that I think we're all pretty fortunate that we're here because out of all the places to be. This has to be one of the safest places to be, just for like health and like access to healthcare.
Well, people could work,
and we didn't work.
Everyone pretty much was working, right? We shut down for what 3-4 weeks.
Kind of on the cusp of we don't know exactly. There's some people are talking about full lockdown or whatever here too, but we'll see.
But Asia is way more prepared, right? This is the first pandemic that like America in modern times has really been exposed to in our era, and so. Now we'll be better prepared for the future ones, but Korea is just
they had SARS, MERS.
Yeah, we went through all that 10 years ago.
They actually had supplies of masks ready to go.
Yeah, I mean,
or people are ready to accept just wearing masks and not doing Christmas carols.
Well, it became a fad thing too about 5-6 years ago to wear a mask. Celebrities were wearing masks to be cool, and not be recognized.
If you think about it, Michael Jackson was way ahead of the game.
Yeah.
I remember like a couple of years ago, like I went and I started, because when the museum just started getting bad, you know, because we had like yellow dust, we had all kinds of shit that was going on where people were like, yo, you should wear a mask. And you saw people wearing them, like more so probably in China and Japan than here. But like I started having like some respiratory problems, like just some weird shit going on. I went to the doctor and he's like, try wearing a mask. And I started wearing a mask.
I remember that time.
And then, you know, not every day, but like it cleared up and I could breathe easier. And I was like, because one of my friend's kids also like had this like weird hole in her heart when she was born, and they were saying that it was because of pollution and all this kind of stuff. So like I think like maybe we were ahead of the game just looking at like wearing masks for health because of the air quality. And then when COVID came in, you know, I don't think people like the mask issue. I don't think is the issue in Korea.
I used to think that was such BS, you know, all the dust particles. I was like, everyone would be like, oh, wear a mask. I'm like, I don't need that, right? And the one time I started becoming a believer, I played basketball outdoors. And after that, I just, there was just something stuck. It just felt weird. And I'm like, oh, there must be really something to this.
Yeah, and I felt it. I was, because like I went to the doctor and I was like, "Are you gonna give me some pills or something? Or are you gonna tell me to fucking wear a mask?" like you know, it doesn't even make. I was like, "Is this even like what are you a crackpot or something?" But no, I mean
it's legit.
Yeah,
so it was integrated into our society here early on, and so it was different in America.
Well,
around the world.
I think it's a new normal, right? Because you look at if you talk about air quality,
right?
I mean, it's not getting better, right?
Yeah.
And yeah.
But did air quality get better in the States after nobody was driving and staying home? It did for a while.
Well,
like the smog cleared away in LA. Well, that's a whole nother subject in itself.
Yeah,
that's
but in terms of like greenhouse,
exactly.
gases, it's really
the pig
a lot.
cesspools and all that.
But definitely, it's affected sports like crazy, right? That's the big thing, even in Korea, right? You can't go to like the games right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can't go to games. I mean, all around the world, there's not a lot of places where they're allowing fans to come into games.
Yeah.
They're allowing some places with like limited access, but I mean, in Korea, the games are still like fanless, which is hard for the fans and also hard for the players because playing in an empty gym. I've played in a lot in my day because my teams usually weren't very good. But like playing in an empty gym sucks, you know. It's like worse when the fans can come and choose not to. All right, now they can't come, so it's a little different. But still, playing without that energy there, you know.
Moral victory.
Yeah, you know?
They would have been here.
Right.
They were exactly.
But it's just weird, you know. Like you part of entertainment, like you want to feel the energy from the crowd, and then
100%.
You know, you rise to the moments, and then you feel all that energy that's there. And if they're not there, it's like you're not gonna feel someone watching on TV.
What if they make you guys play with AirPods on with like crowd noise in there?
But you never know. Like they start like tracking. Like there's like they putting chips in your shorts to track and like see like how many like kilometers you go over and how much energy you use. Like they're doing all. I mean,
I love all that, by the way. I love that shit.
They might do that. I mean, you never know. They got technology in jerseys now, so you can like track. They got all kinds of stuff, man. The wearable technology is becoming.
Well, at some point, then why don't we just get robots playing the games?
No, but even if it's not, I like the idea of, let's say we're just sitting here watching a game, and the game's in like just AR right in front of us. You can see a full full model of the basketball court,
like Star Wars.
Yeah, and you can just see them playing. I think that would be so badass if we can just see Sonia Kim just like right there, just in 3D. We can see all the different angles, just the way we see it.
Yeah, I mean they have that like in virtual reality.
Yeah, no, but I feel like that could be a reality, and within the next 10 years.
When you're playing to a live crowd, and the energy is high, you feel that affects your game playing too, though, right? Doesn't it like kind of motivate?
Both good and bad, right?
Yeah.
Good and bad, right?
Right. Like for me, like I can't really like hear what people are saying. You know, I can only really hear my mom. My mom's voice was like super loud, like so I could hear her voice over anybody's voice. Like no matter how many fucking people they're yelling, I could always hear her voice. But like what people are saying and yelling, I know that there's something there. I couldn't even really hear my head coach. Like if he was yelling at me, like whatever, we'll talk to you after the game. But like you could feel the energy there, and like the players that can control it and still do what you need to do in that high pressure situation, like are guys like Jordan, LeBron, and Kobe. You know, and I had good moments and bad moments where like I was like, man, I got it, man. This is my chance. I need to make this shot, and I was too, was too stiff, or I wanted it too bad and it didn't happen. But you can feel that, and like guys that can control that. Like you can see, me and Dave were talking about this even in the bubble last year. Like there's guys that because there was no fans probably played better, because that energy wasn't there. And then there's guys that need that energy to play good, like say maybe a Paul George or a Kawhi Leonard, and like they didn't perform, and that probably had an effect on their performance. Because
So that's why Paul George hit the side of the backboard, right, in the bubble.
I don't know, you saw that they got beat by 50.
They got beat by 50. Yeah.
Like,
When?
today?
Last
Today?
night or today,
NBA
yeah.
record for like,
By halftime, they were down by 50
was it like offensive? Just
To who?
to the
Mavericks.
Mavericks that they just beat 2 days ago. Or whatever.
Mavericks just got spanked by the Lakers.
Yeah, Lakers beat him, and the Clippers beat him.
Lakers look unfair this year. To get on sports, Lakers look unfair. I mean, they got Marcus All out there with AD. They got Schroeder.
Yeah.
Schroeder.
Yeah, Schroeder.
Man, that guy, nasty.
nasty.
He's quick.
And they have every other thing,
He has
every
a
other
good first
piece.
step, man.
Yeah, their team is
Bananas.
they're really good.
I'm not complaining. I'm from LA.
I don't think
The surprise team though is the Heat. Like I look at the Heat, it's just like they got 3 white guy starters, right? They got Dragic, right? The point guard.
He's European.
All right, Caucasian, right? They got Tyler Hero.
He's Russian.
They kind of
Right.
call him a
They
bitch
got
ass white
Duncan
boy.
Robinson, right?
Yeah.
And wait, who did the Lakers play in the finals last year?
Yeah,
Yeah. And they're coming up.
No, they got the left-hander off the bench that was big in the finals.
Dragic.
No, the other guy.
There's another
Dragic
left-hander?
can play. The other guy, the power forward
Who is that?
with the hair.
Olenek?
Zunic. Olenek. He comes off and he's a big part of that team.
He's from Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Gonzaga.
Olenek.
Played for
Is he a
Boston.
Gon-
Yeah.
Gonzaga gets all the white dudes.
They do.
Do they specifically recruit white dudes?
I don't know. It's just no one wants to go to Spokane, man. If you've ever been up there, man, it's a hard place to recruit to.
So check it, right? So this COVID thing's not going away, right? This is the new normal, right? What do you guys think about, at least for the next 6 to 12 months, right? What do you guys think we are going to be facing, or how is life going to be adjusting here in this next year? Maybe like for your own industries.
In Korea?
Yeah.
I think like for us right now, like, we do a lot of programs with schools. So it's just basically putting together a engaging online program, like putting together curriculum that the kids can do at home. Because as of right now, like the online stuff is there, but it's difficult to engage, especially young kids.
Oh yeah.
Like if you're in the kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade, like it's tough to keep them engaged for say an hour class. Kids that are older, they're trying to work on their skills and whatnot, that have like designs to become a player, like they'll focus for that amount of time, and you can teach them fundamentals, but it's difficult to, you can take them through drills and stuff, but it's difficult to actually give one-on-one coaching, especially if you have a class of like 6 to 10. You
Keep their attention on the screen.
It's difficult. So I think like figuring that aspect out is the challenge for us.
You'll become a rich man if you do, because there's so many programs out there that are trying to figure out this puzzle.
It's hard because like the past summer we did quarantine in Romania with my wife, and we basically did all the practices online because their coaches were getting together on Zoom calls and doing this and that, and we went through that, and that experience like helped prepare us for this a little bit, but it's still difficult because if like that you're talking about, you had the virtual, like the AR coach there that you could watch and physically do, because
And plus, Sonia is a pro. These kids are kids.
yeah. So
Yeah,
it's,
I guess it is. We're going to have to police ourselves more. It's can continue to just be comfortable in our own sort of bubble. You know what I mean?
I can't even go to the gym. I've been doing push-ups every morning.
Yeah.
I have to do push-ups and pull, prison workout, right? That's all I got.
You got to
That's
do
all I
that.
gotta do.
But until there's a medicine out there that's going to subdue your symptoms, and something that's over the counter, that's cheap, that you can test to see if you have COVID, until those come out, I'm not even worried about a vaccine, man, because I don't really want to take that thing.
And people talk about you need some kind of a herd immunity before.
So I think everyone's going to get it. Just the medicine to calm it down, and a speedy, cheap home test. I mean, that's what I'm looking forward to. I don't know about you guys.
Well, now that you got the whole variants, right? You got the
Yeah, the
mutations,
mutations.
and whatnot.
The British one. That's
my
like a lot
aunt, I
worse.
talked to my aunt yesterday. She's like, I didn't get a fever. I didn't get a cough. I just got migraine headaches, and I felt tired for 4 months.
like my My cousin got it.
74 years old though.
Oh shit.
It's like my cousin got
Just
it.
had breast cancer
Oh,
like
wow.
6 months before that. So she was fighting through a bunch. But end of the story, she didn't get, a fever or the cough or the cold systems.
She tested positive.
She tested positive. She's
she
like,
all
I don't
right?
feel well. I don't feel well. Went to the doctor. She said, you got COVID. She's like, I don't have any of the symptoms. She's like, yeah, you have a headache. So talking about mutations. And what were you saying?
And I was saying my cousin got it a couple months ago, and he can't smell.
Yeah, that one's that one.
That's what she couldn't do. She couldn't smell. Headaches and couldn't smell.
And like my mom got
Taste.
it a couple months ago, and she's just maybe not, her energy levels aren't back, but I think like being an old Ajima, I don't know if COVID can really slow them down, so I'm not really too worried about her. My cousin, on the other hand, the new generation, I'm more worried about him.
What do you think?
But I don't know.
What do you think? Because you brought it up.
I think one of the big things though is just loneliness and touch. It's just like I'm trying to, when I see my friends, I'm like, screw it. I got to give this guy a hug. I got to
You
give
me
him
a
a high
hug.
five.
Yeah, man, you give me a hug.
Hey, listen,
Come on,
you guys
man.
aren't that level yet, all right?
Bullshit, man.
No, I mean, but you want to be sensitive to other people, right? Because like I might be like, "Hey, Bobby, what's up? I want to give you a hug. Awesome job," but then you don't know how they feel,
Maza.
so you just gotta be, sensitive. Like obviously with John, I'll spit on his face, but
Right.
that's out of love, right?
He likes that.
But I'd like to see that come in, and like with my mom back home, I try to give her a FaceTime call more often, not just a phone call, but because try to do more FaceTime call because it's lonely for them. Like what they used to have was church, like their community, their senior center, right?
That makes sense, man.
And that, I've read like numerous sources that say loneliness is the fastest way to death, right? Like especially for the older generation. So you gotta
I gotta go
try
see
to-
my mom more.
try to give them some like, first of all, make them feel like they're still needed, right? In the latter age, one of the most important things is just make them feel that they still are needed and they have a use for their life, right? But it's really hard, when they can't cook for you, right? Like they're feeling less like, connected. I think it's just really, really sad. So this year we just got to figure out ways that we can still connect with, but not just our own family, but there's a lot of elder population out there that's gonna.
I think the tough
really
thing
need
too
some
about
love.
like being in Korea is like I feel that urge too. Like I'll see my boys, I'm like, yo, I want to give you a hug, but then like if we're out and there might be people around, I'm like, I wonder what they'll think.
Yeah.
So then like you kind of think about the collective, like just society around, like no matter what I want to do or what that person wants to do or how we feel, then you have to think about everyone else, and then these guys aren't like and then now it's just all the thoughts to what level you think about, like it's really like pushing people away, like you're saying, and like loneliness and depression are probably going to be like side effects of
Well, yeah, all of those things. Like in America, I think right now we have the highest ever record number of like overdoses, death from overdosing on drugs.
really
Because you've got treatment centers closed or operating at less capacity. You've got record homelessness like increasing, and it's just a weird conundrum.
Yeah, but it's a challenge. But a lot of new businesses and new industries emerge out of a need, right? So I'm actually, like when I think about that, I'm actually really interested to see how, because it's so funny how things shift and just change, and how industries change. I was listening to some interview and just how Napster and how different things changed the music industry.
Napster.
Right? And they were talking about that, right? How the music industry dropped the ball because of Napster. And so anyway, so just how things shift and change, and it's even this, like, because I don't think this is it. I think there's going to be other diseases, other things that are going to keep
100%.
people isolated. So because of that need will create other, well, I don't know, just virtual ways of meeting up and stuff.
The irony of Napster, not to change the subject,
Yeah.
but how Napster basically brought down the whole record label industry and the way
Yeah.
music.
Yeah,
music,
definitely started it. Yeah.
Yeah, but now Napster actually still exists. It's a streaming platform, and they pay out the most over
Oh, that's so funny.
YouTube, over Apple, Spotify. Per stream, Napster actually pays artists the most.
That is funny.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
Are they making up for their lost, their past?
I think it just worked out
sins?
that way. It's Napster.
It's ironic.
Title like
Yeah.
Jay-Z's platform. They pay the most to artists.
That's interesting.
It's crazy.
It's cool. Yeah, well, 2020 was memorable.
Had a good run 2020.
Yeah, you found your way back home to the roots.
Yeah, no, it's been a blessing to be out here, actually. I mean, I've gotten more done in the last 2 months than I did, like, literally many, many months being in LA. And I think part of that is just, the isolate. And I want to recommend this to everyone. Everyone should quarantine. And quarantine from just seeing people or just, being out. And you get these spontaneous dinner, requests and whatnot. But just to spend a week or two in reading, in deep thought, and just really exploring your own self, I think is really, really important.
You were mentioning how that it's been beneficial during your 2-week quarantine.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it was just, but be prepared. I think you go in it with like things you want to read or whatnot. But once you are able to really find that, you come out with a much better vision for life. And I think, this year, just in the last month, we lost like billionaires, like, Tony Hsieh, he's not a billionaire, but hundreds of millionaires, right? Tony
almost
Hsieh,
a billionaire. Yeah.
Almost a billionaire. You got Ray Dalio's son that just died in a freak car accident. Yeah. You got all these people, and you're like, wow, they never really got a chance to even use any of that, right? So what is my vision? Like, what is my mission in life? And you kind of go through these explorations, and especially in COVID, we talked about, like, we want to do good. We want to be contributors, right, to society. But, what part of that is selfishness that, you want to feel worth, and another part where is altruistic, where you actually truly want to give, and some balance in between you got to find for yourself. Dave.
I think, back on that, I think people are not to give back. People are just trying to figure it out, like, how to fucking survive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I can imagine just be left with your business down the tubes and you can't be open.
Well, this is like one of those interesting times, I think, like where this is a unique opportunity for people that have to help. But then you could really see like what human nature does to people. Like, so many people are suffering right now, right? Waiting for the government check of what, $600 to come out. And like,
no, it's 1,200. Then it's supposed to be 2,000.
Yeah. And like,
but
that,
no.
they ain't gonna do shit. It's a drop of the bucket, man. That's literally not shit. Yeah. You can't pay your car note. You can't buy baby formula, diapers, like you name it. Like that ain't gonna do shit, right? But then there's guys that have millions and billions and trillions of dollars. Like, what's Bezos doing to help? What are these guys that actually have the opportunity? Like, they're probably making a shit ton of money on these delivery services and whatever, right? But the people that they're making money off of are dying, are struggling, are like, literally trying to scrape together something to make it, And now you have a great opportunity for these people that have to actually do something good.
But we don't see it in the news. Sorry.
No.
But we don't see it in the news. Where is that? I don't read about it. Do you guys hear about it?
Yeah, you don't have to, like, it doesn't have, I don't know what's going on. Maybe Jeff Bezos and these guys are doing something.
His ex-wife is giving away billions.
As she should.
Yeah. Well,
like,
I
think at this time, like, something will happen. Something will come out where, like, hopefully, I believe in the spirit of humans, and I hope that someone is doing something to help these people. Because there has to be something.
Because I'm getting pretty damn sick of politicians or people that are just like in it for themselves. Like, and that's just for me.
I think it's always a hard thing. It's kind of like the UFC where, they're like, oh, they should pay the fighters more or whatnot, right? But were the fighters contributing when they were near bankrupt, like, 4 or 5 times throughout the years, right? Was anyone helping Amazon when, he was locked up in
that one picture of 1999 Amazon?
When he wrote Amazon, right? And then, but then it's all a balance, right? It's really not just black and white, right? Because at some point, and too much is too much money, right? Too much hoarding is too much, and too little is not great either. And so how do you find a balance? But I think that's also why you have the socialist movement. This is happening here in Korea, where they're trying to tax the wealthy. It's happening in America, where you're trying to tax more of the wealthy, take and bring it down, and there's no perfect formula, especially because no one can enact a perfect, comprehensive plan. You always have to, compromise with the opposite party. And in that, you're trying to make a boat and you're trying to make it too high and you're saying, well, let's compromise and make it in the middle, but it's not an efficient boat. It's just, there's all these compromises are going to really impact the full effect of the intended plan. So at the end of the day, I think what's important right now is a lot of people just really coming back to see what's important, and learning things. And that's kind of what I've been doing, is just more trying to learn. Because you got to teach people how to fish. You can't just give them.
So I'm saying, I think like the governments, like whatever they're gonna do, like whatever. I don't know if they're gonna be able to do anything because they have to go through all this bureaucracy to be able to give the people $600, right? But like in these times, individually wealthy people can do the most, and they always have been able to because they can operate without the strings of government and bureaucracy. Like if the richest man in the world right now wanted to go out and make a program, he can. The government of the United States or Korea or Japan or China can't because they have to figure stuff out. It'll take like a year or whatever, you know.
Dude, you know what's wicked about this whole stimulus plan? Whether it's 600, 2,000, whatever it ends up being, that's like the microcosm of what the effect is. Within that bill, which is like $1.4 trillion, it has all these other nuggets. It's got foreign aid. It's got like, different law changes.
And extra money for the politicians too.
And extra money for lobbyists, right?
Yeah.
It's got
Everybody's trying to get their fingers in.
It's not just, it doesn't all go to the people.
You'll get
There's
my
a lot of
vote
bullshit.
if you do this vote for me within this package.
It's horrible. Yeah. And okay.
And they're just printing money.
They're just printing money like a motherfucker.
Which is supposed to devalue the dollar.
Right? My question is, this is the why couldn't you? Okay, and tell me why you can't. Or maybe you don't. We all owe the banks money. Whether your landlord you're paying rent to is paying the bank on the mortgage. We got our credit cards. Why can't we just push the payments off, deal with the interest to the banks and whatever they have to pay their employees, and that $1.2 trillion goes to the banks, figure the banks out, and then just give the common citizen a break for 3 to 6 months.
Someone's got to pay someone.
No one's going
up the chain.
There's no benefit to the
human tendency is not to trickle that down. For example, the landlord, right? They get all this money, government grants, PPP money, whatever. Are they going to trickle it down? How are you going to oversee that? Like, how are you going to manage that?
It would be like this. Okay, nobody has to pay rent. Okay, what would happen? You don't have to pay rent. Now, the landlord's on the hook. Okay, you don't have to pay your mortgage payment. If you don't have a mortgage payment and you own it in full, then there's another program for you, which is probably like the 1% of the world, of the United States.
Yeah, but then there's like these, on the other side is people take advantage of that. And so on the renter side, you're going to have renters who have every ability to pay that aren't going to pay, right? And they're going to go rent more places. And then they're going to Airbnb those because they don't have to pay rent. I mean, you look at just the human greed, it's just that you can't stop it. And that's why we have turnstiles on the subway, right? It's like, why do you need that, right?
It's people like me who jump over it.
So like credit cards, you stop the payments on credit cards, you're going to just go get another credit card?
I mean, once you do that, they're going to max out more credit cards, right? I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's all about,
it's all about me.
So many people don't even have financial education, right? And so you're gonna throw more, fire, or what is it? More
flame, more fuel for the fire.
Fuel for the fire, right? Yeah. And this is the whole concept. Even like the stimulus package, it's almost like, to me, it's like a PR maneuver. It's not fixing very much. Like, you're actually breaking it even more in many ways. What is the other solution? I don't have that solution, but I do think a lot of this, because of the amount of different, lobbying and
it's typically what happens. Like if there's a problem, like if you don't usually treat the cause, you treat the symptom, right? Like if I have a fever, then I will put on I'll put something on my forehead. But what caused the fever? Is it stress? Is it this? I'm not going to actually treat the stress. I'll probably take a pill to mask what's going on. The stimulus package is exactly that. Basically putting a Band-Aid on a heart attack. You'll eventually get this heart attack again. It's not going anywhere because you're still overeating and whatever's going on. Like, you're not treating the fact that you have a problem. Right. You just be like, can we make this problem okay for right now?
Yeah, and the problem right now is with the U.S. dollar being the reserve currency for the entire world. If the U.S. dollar crumbles,
scaring the hell out of me.
It's not just America.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's tied to it. I mean, then you're talking about you got to deal with the IMF, like the World Bank. Like, there's it goes to so many different levels where that guy that's waiting for that $600 to come in because he's got $2,000 worth of bills that he can't pay.
Yeah, there's so much bullshit. I like what Warren Buffett, I think, was it that he suggested.
Buying up the airlines.
If they don't, no. If Congress doesn't balance the budget, every sitting member gets booted and we have to elect new people, suggested, because they can't balance it. They can't figure that out because there's so much politics, red tape, all this bullshit around. If you can't balance it, if you can't figure that out.
Well, what's the benefit for them balancing it?
That's why. But
there's no benefit for them to do that.
but they're putting their own needs in front of 300 in America, 330 million people, right? And that's what's bullshit. It's like that's such bullshit. Yeah. But before we get further into this rabbit hole, let's just do cool things and let's just did that end?
We're at 4% battery.
Okay.
Cool thing. Let's go.
You know, Instagram, you search on your search feed, you get all this unwanted, whatever that may be, you know, in your feed. You want to get rid of it. There's a new little thing option. You can say, what was it?
Stop seeing. I'm not interested.
Not interested.
Yeah.
Thank you. Not interested. That's huge for me because get to clear up that feed.
I've just been reading into cryotherapy. So one of the elements of cryotherapy being cold showers. I haven't done it yet, but comment below if it really works or not. I'd like to know before I dive deep into this.
Cryotherapy is the shit. It's really good.
Yeah.
Like which elements have you done?
I've done like the chambers.
Oh, you've done the chambers.
We've done it.
We've done it.
Is it like a one-time thing, or do you have to keep going? Like
Expensive
skincare?
though.
It depends on what you're doing it for.
Try to live till I'm 200.
Then you probably gotta do it a lot. You gotta get a membership. It's good stuff though.
I think you could just put it on the coldest setting in your shower, and then you.
You can do ice. You can do ice
Knock
bath.
it out.
It's like the economy version.
Mine is. We were talking about being isolated, right? Mine is sportssurge.net.
Oh my god, it saved my life. Sports
To watch
Surge.
any sporting event or many of the big sporting events, right?
In
You can
HD.
watch that. Yeah, in
Is
good
this
quality.
legal or illegal?
Well, I mean, you're streaming. You're streaming online, and I love it. I can see a lot of stuff, like even NBA games and stuff.
Premium content.
Premium content. That's what we're about.
What about you, Eric?
I don't know, something cool. I don't really have anything. I mean, like this past week, like it was just. To be honest, I didn't think of anything cool.
Bobby.
Yeah, I've had quite a week.
Yes,
haven't
sir.
been able to pick up on anything.
Well, music in reality is a
Yeah.
cool thing. Yeah, very, very cool thing.
How can they support the movie?
I don't know. I haven't thought
Watch it, like download
Go
it,
to the
like
CGV
whatever.
theaters.
whatever
The OST
happens.
is
Yeah.
available. You can listen
Yeah.
to the OST.
Oh yeah, the OST, exactly.
It's great.
OST.
Yeah, it's really good.
Awesome. And that's it for today. We got
Dave.
Danny.
Eric.
Bobby.
and John. Bye, guys.
Later.